This is USMLE QA, USMLE material presented in a question and answer format structured similar to the first aid for the USMLE Step 1 book.
Question: what is X-linked dominant mode of inheritance? Answer: X-linked dominant mode of inheritance is a type of genetic inheritance where a gene located on the X chromosome is responsible for a trait or disorder. The trait or disorder is expressed in individuals who inherit the gene, regardless of their gender. Question: how is X-linked dominant mode of inheritance transmitted? Answer: X-linked dominant mode of inheritance is transmitted through both parents. Children of affected mothers each have a 50% chance of being affected. 100% of daughters and 0% of sons of affected fathers will be affected. Question: can you give an example of a disorder caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance? Answer: examples of disorders caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance include Fragile X syndrome, Alport syndrome, and hypophosphatemic rickets. Question: what is the presentation of hypophosphatemic rickets? Answer: hypophosphatemic rickets, also called X-linked hypophosphatemia, is characterized by phosphate wasting at proximal tubule, resulting in a rickets-like presentation. Question: how does X-linked dominant inheritance affect male and female offspring of affected mothers? Answer: in X-linked dominant inheritance, male and female offspring of affected mothers have a 50% chance of being affected. Question: how does X-linked dominant inheritance affect male and female offspring of affected fathers? Answer: in X-linked dominant inheritance, 100% of daughters and 0% of sons of affected fathers will be affected. Question: what are some common disorders caused by X-linked dominant inheritance? Answer: some common disorders caused by X-linked dominant inheritance include Fragile X syndrome, Alport syndrome, and hypophosphatemic rickets. Question: how is X-linked dominant inheritance different from X-linked recessive inheritance? Answer: in X-linked dominant inheritance, a gene located on the X chromosome is responsible for a trait or disorder that is expressed in individuals who inherit the gene, regardless of their gender. In contrast, in X-linked recessive inheritance, the gene is only expressed in individuals who inherit 2 copies of the gene, one from each parent, and only in males, as females have 2 X chromosomes. Question: can you give more examples of disorders caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance? Answer: some other examples of disorders caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance include Rett syndrome, incontinentia pigmenti, and Aicardi syndrome. Question: how does X-linked dominant inheritance differ from autosomal dominant inheritance? Answer: in X-linked dominant inheritance, a gene located on the X chromosome is responsible for a trait or disorder, while in autosomal dominant inheritance, a gene located on one of the autosomes is responsible for a trait or disorder. Additionally, X-linked dominant inheritance is transmitted differently depending on the gender of the parent who carries the gene, while autosomal dominant inheritance is transmitted equally to both male and female offspring. Question: can a male be affected by a disorder caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance? Answer: yes, a male can be affected by a disorder caused by X-linked dominant mode of inheritance. Despite the fact that males only have 1 X chromosome, if the affected X chromosome is inherited from the mother, the male will be affected by the disorder. Question: are X-linked dominant disorders more common in males or females? Answer: X-linked dominant disorders are less common in males as they only inherit 1 X chromosome from their mother, and if it is affected, the male will be affected by the disorder. However, females have 2 X chromosomes and so can inherit a functional copy of the gene from the other X chromosome, which can be seen as a protective effect, resulting in females being less frequently affected by X-linked dominant disorders.
Thank you for watching our Q&A format video. We hope this helped you learn, review, and retain knowledge needed for the USMLEs. For more information on this topic, check out the link in the description. Now, if you want to take your USMLE prep to the next level, be sure to check out all our courses, which are structured to follow along with the first aid for the USMLE Step 1 book. You can find us at usmleqa.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe.